Yeah.
Mindsets for a short-term project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let me give you an idea where mindset's going to come into play.
Okay.
Okay. After we get done this interview, you're going to say, I got to find out what the Kajibi is that caused my screen to flip out when we came on. And your mindset is that's where your attention, that's where your focus is going to go. And you're going to use mindset to solve that, take care of that challenge in the physical. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But if you have that same mindset going out into your 3 year, 5 year vision, mission, purpose, you're on a railroad track. You're limiting your growth. When you define the results, you're eliminating the universe.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. I'm very privileged to have Mr. Bill Heinrich here with me, who is a business coach. And from my understanding and what I've read, you are helping people to feel more fulfilled. Anyway, just tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm a business coach that never talks business
All right.
because what I've learned, walked away from my life 3 years. I was so miserable. I had to find out why. I literally walked away from it, changed everything but my name. And I'm still on that journey today. There's so much to learn. There's so many amazing things that resources available to us. It's so exciting. But the thing that I learned more than anything else, it's all about the inner game, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about what's going on inside of you because I'm now, I'm an expert at clarity. If anybody's stuck on anything, you can contact me, Bill Heinrich 279 at Gmail. I can get you clarity on anything. Okay, very simply, because it's a vibrational value. And when you start to understand the vibrational value, the frequencies, the energies, right? You start looking at life different. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Right, right.
And we aren't taught to do that. We're taught to survive. We're taught to, take the club and go out of the cave and go kill something and drag it back so you can have dinner.
I know that feeling very well.
Mm-hmm. And when you work at it from an energetic perspective, when you look at it energetically, this isn't about creating an intellectual, motivational, rah, 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 I'm going to do it. No, it's more about, hey, I'm going to come from a place of love for the benefit of everybody involved at the highest level I can, and whatever way it comes out is fine with me. Completely changes everything because you get into connections with people, you get into emotions, you have an energetic connection, and it raises the vibration of the entire experience.
I've had a lot of life coaches, business coaches, transformational coaches. Uh, what would you say sets you aside from or apart from those folks?
Well, first of all, I want to be very clear. All of these other coaches, all of these people doing different work, they are
Right.
at a level of learning in their experiences, right? And they are the perfect match for people who are at a similar level. Okay. So, every, like, God bless everybody, right? The difference with me is, okay, a 100% success guarantee.
Okay.
No question, money back guarantee. And I will let the client write the guarantee.
Oh, wow. Well, I was reading about your successes, and I mean, you have made it. I mean, you've got the money, you've got everything you could possibly need, but yet you still didn't feel fulfilled. And a lot of us, I mean, we think, oh, if we could just reach that point, that we would be happier. So why aren't we feeling that way?
Because when you look at this scientifically,
Mhm.
okay, scientifically, there's two things going on. One, we have a universe that's in a constant state of change and organic growth,
Mhm.
energy, all right, always moving, okay, but it's invisible. You can't see it. You can feel it, but you can't see it, right?
Mhm.
And we have our physical life, which we have been, which has been beaten into our beings to the point of ridiculousness. I mean, very simply, not everything, but it's just as easy to say everything I was taught by amazing parents was all wrong. It was all wrong because when you come in and do this energetically, you're looking at it from a place of love. You're looking at it from a place of, hey, everybody wins. There's abundance. Everybody can do great. So get out of me convincing you that my story is better than yours.
Right.
Because everybody lives in their stories, Kyle.
Yeah, it's true.
And you can write a new story. However, you, let me back up for a second. I want to talk about mindset. This is a term that's used all the time. Okay.
Right.
Mindset is not a good vibration.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And here's why. But it's a catch-all phrase that speaks to everything I teach. Okay. But when you look at the teachings from my side, no one speaks about mindset in my groups or with my there's no such thing. It's everything's a vibration. So when you look at mindset, the mind can only access the past. That's all it can do is regurgitate the past based upon what it thinks it's seen, protect you, and the ego's in play. So there's three things here. There's three red flags right away with that, right?
Right.
Set means fixed. Nothing's fixed in the universe. We have the illusion that some things are in the physical, but literally everything's a vibration, right? Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, believe me, I've talked to many of folks about vibration, and I mean, I'm not going to say this is exactly related, but I work in the paranormal,
Mm-hmm.
and so I work with a lot of psychics and folks
Oh,
with
I love it.
ability, and that's another thing that I have been taught is about changing your vibration. Uh, I mean, everything is in vibration. This computer in front of me is at a
Everything,
certain vibration. This soda
everything.
water I got sitting here is at a certain vibration. If that vibration has changed, we see something totally different. And I hope that makes sense to folks. But it's true. Everything
Uh-huh.
is on a set frequency. So yeah, I know what you're getting at. My thing is how do I change that frequency? I've always been told about it, but never quite
So,
explained how to change it.
and I can change people's frequencies, boom, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Literally. And here's why. Yesterday, again, this is not disparaging, but yesterday I was on a podcast with a woman who does quantum healing, just really great stuff. Okay. She's
Mhm.
able to go into other dimensions, change things for people. Okay. There's just so many great protocols out there. The problem with that is that's all taken care of on the other side. That's all taken care of in the non-physical. Okay.
Right.
Now, why would I say that? Why would I say that's a problem? Well, it's a problem because we don't live in non-physical. We live in the physical. And our mind is here to protect us and help us survive in the physical. When you go into the non-physical and make energetic changes for people, it works. Boom, you can clear their energy, everything's fine, but it's coming back, baby. I guarantee you, anything that's ever been in the system stays in the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So it's to me, it's like getting an energetic haircut. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, okay? Because it helps people tremendously. I'm for anything that helps people. But when you look at it from a vibration, then it's like, okay, how do I increase my vibration? You need to know four things. One, we are constitutionally incapable of being honest with ourselves. Let me repeat that. We are constitutionally incapable of being honest with ourselves. Two, we each have energies, 7 energies: divine compassion, divine creation, divine order, divine healing, divine power, divine truth, that flow through, and divine authentic self-expression, excuse me. These energies are what makes our life purpose, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We all have the same 7 energies, but we have them all in different proportions. And these energies are completely filled with toxins because you were brought up to live in survival in the physical, and the energies only know abundance, joy, love, and freedom.
Okay.
And when you don't understand the energies come out as penalties. And there's specific, I've been doing this with clients. So it's like an energetic DNA. What happens when I take a person through that? Their life changes instantly. And I mean like that. And here's why. Because you can feel it. And when you understand what your energies are, you just go, wow. So this is the switch I've got to flip. I've got to flip the energetic switch. I'm not going to do the mindset switch. That isn't going to help me. Okay. It's the energetic switch, because in the non-physical, and correct me if you don't agree with this statement, anything's possible in the non-physical. Anything. Everything's based on a vibration. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. In the physical is about limitation, pain, lack of clarity, and work. That's the best you're going to get out of the physical.
I know
So,
all about the pain.
so if you're focused in the physical, Kyle, where your attention goes, you go. But when you learn about the non-physical and these energies, and you go, wow, like, so the most important thing is, if when I feel that my energies are going wonky because of some story and I'm getting angry or whatever, it's like, just go into timeout. Go have a conversation with that story, get clear on it, because there's whatever you judge, you are. Anything people judge, that's them.
Hmm.
Literally, they're looking right in the reason they don't like it is because they've experienced it, and it when you look at it from an energetic value, there's nothing about judgment that's good.
Yeah.
Nothing. Why is that? Because there's no equality. When you're judging someone, okay, if I'm sitting here judging you and saying, okay, I've got a beard and this guy's got this thing going, he's got this hair going, and and I'm like, it's like, who looks better, who's, all that stuff right in the physical, right?
Yeah, it's
It
okay to admit
eliminates,
I look better. That's fine. No.
well, I acquiesce. You didn't give me a chance to put the crown on you, sir. And but it eliminates our ability to connect energetically, for us to feel each other, to feel our sincerity. When we came on and you had the glitch with the screen, there was an energy behind that with you, right?
Yeah. Definite frustration.
And well, frustration's a concept. Energy is just energy, and energy is tied to stories inside of you where I can tell you right now with something like that, with energetically with that reaction, is looking at things and when's the other shoe going to fall?
Yeah,
Do you
I
relate to
know that.
that?
I definitely relate to that.
So, but you see, I just told you that just because I followed the energy of what happened when the screen. It has to be.
Right.
And it would also, those energies are going to keep you in a constant state of protection when there's nothing to protect
Hmm.
energetically.
Now, are
Because,
we? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but are we talking like chakras?
sure,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was talking about the four things to get to our life purpose, and I get off. It's easy to get off track, right? Because it's
Right.
all just so. The energy. Can you feel the energy building in us as we're discussing this? It's very evident to me. So you have to recognize that you need to be able to, you're unconstitutionally capable of being honest with yourself, and you really need someone that can do an honest assessment with you. And the most honest assessment that you can ever complete, ever, is energetic.
Okay.
Because if it isn't energetic, it's subject to personal opinion. It's being described in the physical, right?
Right.
The second one are the seven divine powers. The third one is understanding there are 38 different life paths for life lessons. We all have life lessons. And when you learn, when what I'm able to do is show people exactly what their life lessons are, they have their powers, and their powers. It, it would be, if you went through this with me, Kyle, the way I would really describe it is I'm going to introduce you to you, and it will be unequivocal. There will not be a shadow of a doubt. And it's at that moment, really, where the guarantee ends. Because if
Right.
you connect with that energy, your life changes so fast. It's amazing. Then life lessons. And then how do you bring this energy into your daily physical life and live from the energetic side? And the faster you learn that, the faster your life changes. You're now participating with abundance. You're participating everything the universe has to offer. When we're in the physical and you want to do something, the one word that stops everybody is how. And there's no how in the non-physical.
Okay.
Everything's a vibration. So you have to embody the vibration of your intention. Now, the intention is, let me just say, you want to grow your podcast to, I'm just picking a number, 5 million plus subscribers, right?
Would love to.
Yeah, your intention, 5 million or more. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, with every breath of your energy, as you do anything to work on your shows, support that intention. Make sure the energy is saying, I'm I have the value. I'm worthy of the 5 million listeners. Energetically, not from your ego. Because the
And
ego's like, this is a great show, and this is it. But when you do it energetically, you see, in the physical, when we're in a conversation, Kyle,
mm-hmm.
we're in an intellectual exchange. Okay. And pretty much a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, are actually coming up with whatever their answers are going to be rather than listening to me to begin with, because we're all like in that protection mode, right?
Right.
But there's no connection. It's empty. It's just, now when I come in with this energy, you can't block the energy. You may not be comfortable with it. You may not like it, but when it hits you and you don't like it, you're going to think, there's something about this guy I don't like. Right?
I haven't felt that way, so, but
It's an
I get where you're
it's an
coming from.
it's an energetic value, right? Like, how
Right.
would you describe the energy on the show so far?
I think we're having pretty good energy so far.
Yeah, it's really right. You know, because you're connected to the energy, and the byproduct and benefit is what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I have a client who does taxes. She has divine order as one of her primary powers. Somebody with divine order, you know, in the universe, there's duality, right?
Yes.
You understand
Yes.
duality, polarity,
Yes.
right? There's hot and cold. There's everything. There's two of everything at extremes. She has always, because she has divine order, ever since she's been a child, been afraid of any confrontations. Not because of what was said, it was how it made her feel, because it was so disruptive to this divine order, which is about, she breathes harmony, balance, just, it's just an energy you just want to be around. But if somebody comes at them and they don't understand energy, they will do anything to keep people happy because they hate it when people are upset with them.
Right.
They'll they run from conflict, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to see the way these energies flow through people. And when, you know, and this woman is fascinating because she's a accountant, does taxes, and I was like, Diana, the reason people come to you isn't for your taxes, not the work you do. Why do you think they come to her? They walk in scared because they have the IRS to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to sit down in front of her in this energy of divine order, and they're just able to go, we're going to be okay. This feels good. Not a word's been spoken, but all their fear, all their anxiety, frustrations, everything coming from their stories when they walked in, the energy flips it instantly.
Well, I've definitely tried working on myself and trying to change myself, and I've gotten advice from hundreds of people, and it seems like no matter what I've tried, nothing seems to work. And one of the things, like you mentioned, was mindset, which, you know, that's what they tell me. I got to change my mindset.
Yeah,
I
look
and
at that.
I do, you know.
Mindsets for a short term project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let me give you an idea where mindset's going to come into play.
Okay.
Okay. After we get done this interview, you're going to say, I got to find out what the Kajibi is that caused my screen to flip out when we came on. And your mindset is going to, that's where your attention, that's where your focus is going to go. And you're going to use mindset to solve that, take care of that challenge in the physical. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But if you have that same mindset going out into your 3 year, 5 year vision, mission, purpose, you're on a railroad track. You're limiting your growth. When you define the results, you're eliminating the universe. When you speak of, when you embody how it's going to feel with those results, you attract it to you.
Right.
It's literally that simple. You know, I have my book, The 7 Levels of Truth,
Yes, sir.
A Direct Path to Your Life Purpose. In this book is everything I do in my coaching. Everything's there. Every answer, everything that I've just spoke of is in this book. It's available on Amazon, The 7 Levels of Truth by Bill Heinrich, or you can go to my website and order a copy and I'll sign it. Everything is there. You see, all these other ones, the thing that people don't understand is we're all different. And they're coming from these fixed positions of making everybody fit into this one particular space. No, 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 no. Kyle, you have your own unique purpose. My joy in connecting with you is seeing how that is showing up in the world, where you are in that journey. Like acknowledging you. When I acknowledge you, I acknowledge me. There's no, when you do that, no other words need to be spoken. It's all understood from there. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you are the Jedi Master, and I know you don't want to give away all your secrets, in the show, but how much can you help me in just short time that we have to just talk together?
Like right now?
Yes, sir.
Well, what's your date of birth?
10/5/70. Proud Libra.
Okay. You're the thing you've always struggled with. Yeah. Okay. The thing you've always struggled with is balancing out your work and play.
This is true.
Am I close?
You are absolutely right.
Now, let me tell you what's creating that. What's creating that first is you would have a tendency, based upon stories inside you, to be under cooperative or over cooperative in situations.
This is true as well.
Huh?
This is
How am I
very
doing so
true.
far?
You're hitting the nail on the head.
And when you lose and become over cooperative, I, be- I believe if I looked at you on a cooperative level, I would see you at 20% uncooperative, 80% over cooperative.
I would say so.
Something like that. Like you're not an angry guy,
I
right?
hate conflict.
Yeah, well, you probably have some divine order in there. So anyway, so anyway, there's cooperation. So you have to look at situations in life that you need to put boundaries in for you, because it's the energy. This it's you're afraid people won't love you if you don't go in and do that, and then what you're doing is you're abandoning you
I have a hard time
completely.
telling people no.
Yeah, and write this down. You want to learn something from me that'll change your life?
Sure.
Okay,
Of
write
course
this
I do.
down.
To get my cheaters on.
No is a complete sentence.
No is a complete sentence. Look,
You've never seen it that way before. It's okay to just say no, but you don't believe that.
I have a very, very hard time saying no.
Yeah, yeah. So you have see what happens is, let me finish though. So you have these pieces of this uncooperation, and then over cooperation that then create upheaval with your balance in life. They're continually, now you have energetic cords with people, and they aren't connected the right way. It's energy that comes in and zaps you in a way that doesn't support you. The other thing is you're extremely energetically sensitive. Are you aware of that?
So I've been told.
Are you aware of it?
I
That would be
don't
a
know if
no.
I'm aware of it.
Right. There's a pretty good chance that you don't like to be in large crowds.
You are absolutely correct.
See? Do you know why you don't like being in large crowds?
Well, I've been
I,
diagnosed with PTSD.
it's not that. Not that. You have this quality in your life that makes you an energetic sponge.
Hmm.
And you are picking up other people's energy. So when you go into a big event like that, you come out and you're like Humpty Dumpty, man. You fell off the wall. Your whole physical being would feel all cracked up.
Oh, I feel drained when I'm in a crowd.
Yeah, well, it'd be totally draining. Yeah, because you don't know where your energy ends and theirs begins.
Yeah.
So it's and this is a life lesson of yours. It's part of your life lessons, and this is what's going to lead you to freedom and discipline. It's like when you understand the discipline of not selfish, Kyle, but self-love.
And
Let me
that's something
repeat
I've
that.
always had a problem with.
Not You're not selfish when you're practicing self-love, because when you practice self-love, you have more to give. There's only two emotions in the physical world. There's only two: love and fear.
Love and fear.
Or we can say hate, whatever. Either fear and hate, kind of, although people wouldn't resonate with, they resonate with fear, but they wouldn't resonate with hate. Everything stems from those two emotions. Now, get this: love knocked, or fear knocked on the door and love answered. No one was there.
Mhm.
They can't coexist. Let me repeat that. They cannot coexist. You cannot sit in love and fear at the same time. Now, fear is all about the physical. 100%. There's no fear over on the non-physical side whatsoever. None. The only thing on the non-physical side is expansion, growth, abundance, love, just wonderment, right? So
Right.
when you're in fear, you're stuck in the physical and you're in protection mode. You have fear of loss. You have a fear of losing something. Now, let's go over to the non-physical side and talk about the other basic fear of love. Let's see if you can answer this sentence. With love, the more you give,
The more you get.
you don't protect it. You give it away. You give it, you give it, you give it. You just give the love. We don't care what shows up in the physical. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to approach it from a place of love for the benefit of all involved. And I'm going to let go of any attachments I have to whatever I think. And let me tell you something, that's the first step in a life of freedom: detachment. Because this shit's just going to go on forever. This is like just a soap opera. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's not one aspect of living in the physical that, frankly, isn't just crazy
But,
when you compare it to the non-physical.
I was talking with my wife the other night, and I told her, I said, this world that we're in, I just don't feel like I belong here.
Well, this is exactly what I experienced as a child, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, what the hell are all these people doing? And I finally kicked out in fifth grade. I quit because I was
Wow.
brought up Catholic, found out I was going to go to purgatory for 7 or 8 thousand years and move right on to hell. And it's like,
Then
it
what's the
was,
point?
yeah. Well, I said, hey, you know what decision or choice I made at that point?
Mhm.
If I'm
What's
going to
that?
hell, I'm going to have a good time on the way there. Literally, literally. But it ended up, I felt that same way. Life made no sense. And then I was so miserable I had to walk away from my life. And that's when I started discovering these things. When I discovered life lessons and I saw my life lessons, I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. I just have these blind spots.
Hmm.
And these are all the areas that my problems come from. Because I just walk into brick walls with it because I cannot see anything. Just understanding that, you can change your life. And
Wow.
the divine powers. I talk about Maslow's hierarchy. Every problem we have in life deals with four basic needs. Every problem comes down to those four needs because you're in the physical and it's a problem. When you stay in the non-physical, it isn't a problem. And I don't know if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy,
No, sir.
uh, but it's all in my book. His hierarchy He was the father of modern psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was studying Freud. He lived from like roughly 1900 to 1970, roughly. He studied not the shadow side with Freud. He went the other way and studied how people can reach their peak potential in the physical. And that's what I'm about, right? You don't know what's going to happen after this. I teach people how to live, as I said earlier, with extreme happiness without having to sacrifice any success, in fact, enhancing their success. Because it's all a vibration. Everything we do, we're doing to learn lessons. These lessons are always in play in our life. And as you learn those lessons and you make a choice, like in your case, if you learn can learn to take care of yourself, not abandon yourself and say no. And you see, when you learn to do that, the first time you do it, you'll feel a surge of energy that you've never experienced before.
Hmm.
And you're removing some toxins from your energetic field. Because when you cave in and you just feel like you can't say no, the energy behind that is not good. In fact, you're literally playing the victim. Now, when you're a victim, you are then giving all of your power to that other person.
Right. You know,
Right?
the thing is, and I know that I was, in deep in victimhood for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
just felt sorry
It's
for
easy to
myself.
it's easy to get there.
It's very, very easy to get
We're
there.
taught that in survival. In survival, we're taught to be victims.
Hmm. Well, when I was in school, particularly in the ninth grade, I got bullied like you wouldn't believe. And I didn't want to go to school. It's a wonder I passed because I wasn't hardly ever there. And that I would seek out people that were bigger than me that I felt I could hang around with and they would protect me. And but then 10th grade came along, and that summer I had worked with my dad all summer, and my dad he was an air conditioning mechanic. And my job was to help him get the units in and up out of the attic and put up duct work and all that. So I mean, I worked my butt off all summer, and I hit a growth spurt, and plus I got a little bit of, I mean, I wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger by any means, but I got a little muscle and got a little more confidence. And then that next school year, I walked in and I saw that guy, and he started walking up to me. And even though I was kind of shaking, I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, "Not this year. I'm not putting up with it this year." And when I stood up to him, he never messed with me again.
They don't have a backbone. But you see,
Right.
you you flip the switch.
Right.
Now,
My,
what was your energy after you said that to him?
oh, I
You
felt
had
like I was,
fear. You had fear. Let's look at it energetically. You were
mm,
fearful when you decided to stand up to him. And then how did you feel after? What was the energy?
I felt like I was on top of the world.
You were. You took care of yourself. This is you saying to Kyle, Kyle, I love you, and we aren't doing this anymore.
Yep.
And every time you make one of those choices, you'll feel that same thing.
Yep. Here's my next problem is I got right back into that same victimhood mentality because after I'd gotten married the first time, I mean, we had hit every kind of problem you can imagine. Most of it was financial. And of course, I just felt like the world was against me.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what I did, everything seemed to fail. I would go try something new to try to make more money, fail. Everything I did just seemed to fail. So I just felt like the universe was against me, you know. And I I had
Well, let's
got well, I
rephrase
got
that.
what's that?
It felt like you were against the universe.
I guess you could say that.
Sorry, buddy.
But I mean, well, I got my divorce and then started getting back on my feet again. I was taking care of the finances on my own. My bills were getting paid. You know, I had a roof over my head, always had food in my belly. Everything was taken care of. And so I felt like I'd kind of gotten over all that. You know, I had
Mm-mm.
faced everything and, you know, took it head on. Everything's going smooth. And then here lately, I feel like I'm going back in that funk again. It's just like one thing after another keeps going wrong.
Just look at
And
the stories.
mhm.
Okay. So here's the easiest way to do it. What is a negative statement that you make to yourself?
uh, that I just can't do anything right.
Okay, great. So take a sheet of paper and put a line down the middle.
Okay. Right
On the
here.
left side, write down, I can't do anything right. Now, the universe has this thing called polarity, duality, right?
Right.
So there's two sides to everything.
Right.
So, how's the energy in I can't do anything right?
Well, that's very low energy.
Yeah, it's not good at all. So, on the other side of the paper, what's the opposite of that statement?
This is what
Now,
I can do
remember,
right.
huh?
This is what I can do right.
No, you want to even take it to a higher vibration than that. Okay.
Okay.
I trust myself with every choice I make.
Okay.
I'm willing to take the steps. No, I'm willing to take the actions that lead me to expansion. So now read what's on the left side out loud.
I can't do anything right.
How's that make you feel?
About as low can be.
Yeah. Now read what you wrote on the other side.
I trust myself with every choice I make, and I'm willing to take the actions that lead to expansion.
How do
I
you
already
feel?
feel better.
I saw your energy literally switch when you were reading it. That's the answer. So
Wow.
it's that simple. The answer is not out in front of you. Do you know what shows up in front of you, Kyle? What shows up in front of you is the manifestation of your energy. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's the manifestation of your energy. People don't live in the present moment. They're living in their expectations on their trip, or they're going to Vegas, or they're doing this, or they're living out there. They aren't present. We're living in a physical world where we're taught separation, limitation, struggle, pain, yet our energy comes from a space and is connected to a space that only knows abundance, love, joy, peace, and freedom. Which one do you want to get attached to?
I need the joy, peace, and freedom.
It's just an energetic value. And the way that you learn, you know, One fast way, obviously, getting a copy of my book, because all of the guideposts, everything's in this book. Everything's there. I also have coaching programs. If anybody has any interest in those, they can get in touch with me. You can go to speaktobill.com. Speaktobill.com. But it's gaining the awareness as you live in the non-physical, and you instantly, when you automatically say the thing where you shoot yourself in the foot, which you do, right? We all do it.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
listen. I'm living the physical experience. It's even more extreme than yours, right? Because I so understand this energy, and when I get caught over on one of those other sides, man, it's like, going off a catapult on a aircraft carrier right into a brick wall. It's like, whoa, what was that, right?
Yeah.
But you get to choose and say, where's this energy coming from? What is it that causes me to believe that? In fact, you don't even have to do that. You can write it down on a sheet of paper and get up every morning and read the affirmation on the right hand side. And it will happen. It is guaranteed. It will happen at the speed of choice.
Wow. Now,
Every choice you make.
a quick question. Is this, come on, I don't know, comparable with The Secret?
Well,
I've heard good and bad things about that.
okay. The Secret's fantastic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I know many people in the book. In fact, I was with Bob Proctor. I used to be CEO of a company called Wisdom of the World, and we created all these different wisdom films, Deepak Chopra, Bob Proctor, and all that. And we had dinner with Bob one night after we recorded him talking about how The Secret, what part it played in the spiritual movement. And it's a beginner's book, right? It's all about a beginner's book. And it took off and was phenomenal. But if you look at that and apply everything, whatever they're saying in there, say, is this supporting my energy, or is this supporting survival? Thriving or surviving? I'm stuck in the physical, suffering, or I'm over here thriving. Now, remember, when you're thriving, that's just your perception. It may not be what other people that live in survival would call thriving in the physical. But inside, you're like, no, life is good, man. Like, this is good. I feel good today. It's not about getting a mansion. It's not about, having millions of dollars. In fact, anybody who's really studied spirituality and writes a gratitude list, money is never on it. Not on it, because with all the other things you learn, abundance comes from that. It comes from it. It isn't like it has to happen. Let me repeat that. It has to happen. When you create that energy, you're creating a magnet for all things wonderful. So it's just your ability to be able to receive them. And with your past experience, I can tell you from working from other clients that you have difficulty receiving. There's no question in my mind that you don't like getting gifts from other people.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're giving, when you're doing those things, what you're really doing? You're taking. You're taking from them. You're playing, you're abandoning yourself, and you're in there to be recognized for what you've done and get some appreciation. And if you don't, then you'd have resentment.
Yeah. You know what preacher used to tell me when someone wanted to give me something? He says, "Don't steal someone else's blessing."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's your blessing, is what it is. It's not someone else's. The reason I know, I've been doing this a long time, Kyle. And when you look at energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like looking at a freeway. Like I live in an RV, and spend my winters in Palm Springs, California, and my summers in Vermont. And, out here is Interstate 10. Now, one thing I can guarantee you about Interstate 10 is that it goes east and west.
That it
Guaranteed,
does.
right? I could even
Mhm.
get more specific, but I wanted to give you an example of when you follow energy, you're on I-10 or you're on I-15. You're like, whoa, let me just follow the vibration. There's no story. There's just a vibration. And it's this way. See, people don't want to talk about all their struggles, all the problems they've had in the past, because there's no path out of it for them. But when you understand the vibration, everything's just a vibration. Let's look at it from vibration. What vibration are you creating? So, I have a couple that I'm working with now. I've been working with them for a year. They're going through an uncoupling process.
Mm.
It's
That-
beautiful. They're best friends. They're working with the kids, and they're really finding themselves. And there's no arguing, there's no fighting, there's only love and an understanding that we need to readjust for life.
oh, we
What
got
it
you.
what it was going to be when I spoke to her and she said she wanted a break, I said, great, but not now. And she's like, why? I said, well, your energy is horrible. If you create this from this energy, you're going to create a nightmare. Give me 90 days and we'll talk about it then. And she was like, well, I said, hold it. How long have you been married? 15 years. I said, okay, I get 90 days and I'll show you the difference. And in fact, 90 days later, she was like, wow, now I get what you mean. And I'm not ready to move forward on that choice yet because she understood her energy.
Mhm.
Before, the energy was driving her thinking, the resentment, the anger, the things that happened to her as a child, all of those things were fueling. She's living the whole thing's, frankly, to a large degree of fantasy. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
and she's just learning to know herself, and it's fantastic. She's just, I've never worked with anybody when they went through this and they really meet themselves after I take them through the divine powers
Hmm.
that not only love what they find, but they will do anything to have more of it.
Hmm.
Anything to have more of it. There's nothing sweeter than having yourself, Kyle. Hey, for people listening, I have a book called Clarity Has No Story,
Right.
and it's a shaman's guide to mastering the law of attraction. It's all about the language you use and how you create energy with your words. And it's available for them to download free. They just need to go to my free book, myfreebook.me. Me.
I think I have that link. I could share that with everyone in the description.
Good, good.
In fact,
You
I have
know,
all your links.
everybody, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You've talked to many, many, many different coaches.
Yes.
Okay. What have you heard differently? What's the difference from what you heard from me today?
Well, this is actually the first time I can say that I actually felt an energy shift. And that's not just saying that for the show's purpose. I went from feeling kind of to all of a sudden I feel perked up.
Yeah. Feels good, huh?
Yes. And that's like
This
I
is,
said, not just for the show's purpose. This is genuine.
well, I think the thing that perked you up was doing when we did that affirmation for you.
Hmm.
You wrote down the negative. Anybody has a problem with that, just take a sheet of paper, put a line down the middle, write down and say, I'm a no good, lousy bum. I'll never succeed in anything. And then on the other side, you don't do this once. The objective would be to get up every morning and see if you can take that statement on the right side to a higher vibration.
Okay.
How could you have more clarity in that statement that's going to improve your vibration? And this is what's fun about working with this stuff because it's about you. My book, okay? You want to know something? I have no idea what you need. No idea, because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. Buy the book, go through it. You may find in chapter 3, like, oh, there it is. That's, and somebody else is like, oh no, this piece was, we're all different. But I can tell you, these guideposts will take anyone directly to their life purpose. People can get my free book at myfreebook.me. Clarity Has No Story, or you can order the 7 Levels of Truth on Amazon or from my website, True Life Purpose Now.
And as I stated before, I will put those links in the description, make it easy for folks to find you. I want to thank all of you out there. If you are new to the channel, I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button for my regulars. I love y'all because you make it possible for me to do this. So until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network